We've been known as the Forum for Contemporary Art, and it's been around for 20 years, but it's a new beginning for us with a new name change, new building. This is the moment I think people have been waiting for, and everyone is putting their 100% into it.
It's very rewarding to see how it has grown from a forum, a center for discussion, to a museum, which certainly includes lots of discussion, performances, exhibitions, educational programs.
What I get to do on this program, I never had the chance to in my life anywhere else.
The fact that we're not a collecting museum, it says quite a bit.
This is incredibly exciting.
We're interested in the future, and we're interested in allowing artists to finish out the visions now.
The notion from the very start was that it be immediately connected to the public and literally have a kind of immediacy of experience to the city. So we brought the building right to the street. There's no steps, there's no elevation change. You go from the sidewalk right into the building.
It's eye-opening, and that's one of the experiences we want the New Art in the Neighborhood students to have.
It's really a great thing to have a voice in the community.
Our goal at the Contemporary Art Museum in St. Louis is to commission and allow artists to realize their vision. We can be showing art that's already been created, or artists will create specific work for us.
With the opening of the new building, the Contemporary will be housed in an outstanding work of architecture.
The first thing that you will notice is the openness of the institution. Brad has created a wonderful building which invites the public in. There's lots and lots of windows where you can look in as you drive by or walk by.
It will have its own independent presence, so people will be much more aware.
I think having the Contemporary Art Museum St. Louis adjacent to the Pulitzer Foundation for the Art is going to be a wonderful symbiotic relationship. One, they both concentrate on contemporary art, but we will be concentrating on the future. And Pulitzer Foundation for the Arts, they do show artists of today, but we will be sheerly focused on that. And also, two buildings are architecturally significant. So having the Brad Cloepfil building, who's a young American architect, next to Tadao Ando, who is an internationally renowned Japanese architect, I think it'll also create a buzz, and also it'll be a place for architects to come to take a look at.
Our investigation of material was really about what it takes to make the kind of space and the kind of experience we were after. The kind of physical transparency that we were after required very large spans. So the building was really conceived of as two series of concrete planes, the lower one at 12 feet high that really manifests the art and the display of art and also directs the movement of the people through the space. And then the upper walls of 18 feet high, the kind of larger ribbon that makes these enormous spans of the galleries and the performance space and the outdoor courtyard. And within those large spans is all the light control, where the ceilings float up and down and bring in natural light. So it was just those two simple structural orders kind of weaving together that blur the boundaries of the public and private and the indoors and outdoors, and kind of create that sense of, a little sense of disorientation even, but that kind of heightened sense of awareness that we were looking for in contemporary art space.
We will have installations, we will have paintings, we will have sculptures, we will have performances, and the building being very utilitarian and open will allow us to do all that.
The architecture serve the art. That the architecture make a space, a kind of vital, active, energized space that the art both looks good in and that the artists want to engage.
We can have poetry slams, we can have video screenings and movie nights, and with the new functional space, we are able to do that.
The ability to show more art, to have a more visible presence in the community will be very important.
The idea that artists could come through and be excited about the space and want to exhibit in the space and want to do site-specific pieces in this space, to me that's the ultimate compliment.
What we are presenting to the audience is the future.
I think that the Contemporaries exhibitions have introduced major artists to the St. Louis community. It has been a source for support and exhibitions for regional artists that has been very important and hopefully has helped retain some artists in St. Louis and has added richness to the menu of contemporary art available here.
It's not about presenting what we have, it's not about just showing art, but it's also teaching the audience how to become part of art and also how to have it influence your life as well.
We are collaborating with the St. Louis Art Museum and with the Pulitzer Foundation for the Arts to create a body of docents, of people who are able to lead tours of anybody from any walk of life through our institutions. These particular docents are trained to be able to talk about contemporary art, in particular, contemporary art and architecture. We'll be able to bring groups in who can look at some of the things that are in the Pulitzer, like the modernist work, Richard Serra, Ellsworth Kelly, the Picassos, Doris Salcedo, Kiki Smith, and then come to our institution and be able to see what's going on right now in artist studios. It's a very exciting prospect, and I can't wait to see it in action.
Well, we want when people come visit us at the new museum to experience art and to let people know that art is progressing, just as in any field of medicine or engineering, that the history itself is being created. So we want people to be intrigued, engaged, and also to be excited about what they see, and sometimes confused. And we hope to be accessible and open enough so people will ask questions and come back later and to see it again. As they travel throughout the country and throughout the world, they will see artists that they saw first here in St. Louis. And they will be very proud of the fact that we are in fact part of this larger dialogue, and we are putting these artists out there, and we are the first ones to exhibit them, not only in St. Louis, but perhaps in the United States. And I think they will take pride and ownership in the institution in their town.
New Art in the Neighborhood actually was the first youth education program at the Contemporary, and we started it about 9 years ago. We take 20 students, and they come every Saturday during the school year from noon to 4. They can come year after year. So I've had students throughout their whole high school career, which has been really wonderful to watch them grow.
A lot of these kids never really had accessibility to art.
Art classes in high school, they give you the basic foundations.
Before I came to New Art in the Neighborhood, I had no idea what charcoal even was. I thought we'd be using pieces of coal.
I think that they, most of all, learn what they're capable of doing, and no one else can tell you that.
Steve and Robert were especially great role models. They pushed themselves outside of the boundaries of typical traditional art, and I think that's what I learned from them the most, is learning how to find new ideas that can create your own style.
They get attention, and I think that's very important.
The most important thing that I'm learning in this class is just how to be open to other forms and open to other mediums.
They learn they're not weird. And that may sound funny, but they're creative people in a world that not necessarily welcomes creative people. And to learn that their creativity is a major asset is sometimes a very new experience for them.
After the 2 years that I've been here, I've really gained more experience, and I think that's the main thing, gaining experience.
I think it's amazing how open the students have become to other people, and also it's amazing how their eyes have opened up.
The greatest thing that we all had in common was our creativity and our appreciation for expressing our creativity.
You could actually meet artists that have experience, and you don't really have, all you have experience is school, so they can actually help you with what kind of style that you want to develop.
To have your ideas put on a platform, so to speak, so that people could see, what are the youth in our community like today? What are they thinking about? And what kind of wisdom do they have to share? What kind of thought? Are they understanding something that we may not be understanding?
Actually having people that you would never meet or know saying that I really like this. This is very good. I see this is going somewhere. That's very encouraging to have.
We have gone to the Pulitzer on field trips already, and they are very much excited by the architecture itself. I don't think they've seen anything quite like it. To be able to walk through the Richard Serra, to experience sculpture on that level, it's eye-opening, and that's one of the experiences we want the New Art in the Neighborhood students to have, is to have their eyes open, for them to see the world in a new way.
Coming to understand, where different people are coming from, their outlooks on things, their perspective. I found it pretty interesting.
New Art in the Neighborhood taught me that mostly how to accept other people's ideas. I think it taught me a lot on just being open-minded.
Artists and their work bring another dimension to life. Artists have a different take on contemporary issues from other people, and it adds a richness to the quality of our lives.
I don't know how many of us don't actually stop and consider it, you know what I mean? But I think if we would agree that art is pretty much essential.
Is exciting, and I think it's also a kind of gift. I mean, how many communities have this kind of space, this kind of opportunity to engage, internationally recognized critical work with the kind of curatorial opportunities that are here and the kind of vision that Paul and the staff have.
I think the more we have, the more community we have, and the more we collaborate with each other, the more people will be aware of contemporary art.